Picture this, brother. You're pouring your soul into a text, crafting the perfect message, planning a date that'll knock her socks off. You're being the guy you think she wants. Yet she leaves you on read for hours, maybe days. You compliment her, make time for her, show her you're all in. And what do you get? A half-hearted maybe to your plans. Or worse, complete silence. Meanwhile, that dude who barely acknowledges her existence, who doesn't text back, who seems to live in his own world, she's tripping over herself to get his attention. It's infuriating, right? It feels like you're running on a treadmill, sweating, grinding, and going nowhere. Why does it seem like the harder you try, the less she cares? Today, we're ripping the veil off female psychology. We're diving deep to uncover why pulling back, ignoring her works like a charm. This isn't about playing games or being a jerk. It's about power. It's about respect. It's about understanding what really drives attraction. So stop the scroll, brother. Let's get real about how to take control of your relationships and your life. Let's start with the pain you're feeling, because I know it's real. You've been there. Hell, we've all been there. You send a thoughtful text, pouring your heart into it. She responds with a single K, or worse, nothing at all. You plan a date, clear your schedule, bring your A game, and she flakes, or gives you some vague excuse. You shower her with compliments, thinking it'll make her see your value. But instead she pulls away. She acts like you're just another guy in her orbit. And then you see it. The guy who doesn't even try. The one who doesn't jump at her every word, who seems to barely notice her. He's the one she's chasing. She's texting him first, laughing at his dumb jokes, trying to get his attention. It's like a punch to the gut. You start wondering, what's wrong with me? Am I not enough? The truth is, you're not the problem. The game is rigged, and nobody handed you the playbook. You're stuck in a cycle where giving more gets you less. It's draining your energy, killing your confidence, making you question your worth. That's not just frustrating, it's a slow death of the man you know you can be. So what's the truth behind this madness? Why does ignoring her work when being the nice guy doesn't? Women live in what I call the attention economy. From the moment they wake up, they're swimming in validation. Likes on Instagram, DMs sliding in, guys at the bar buying drinks, coworkers dropping compliments. The average woman checks her phone over 150 times a day. Each ping feeds her ego. Attention is her oxygen. She doesn't just want it, she needs it to feel valuable. But here's the kicker. When something's everywhere, it loses its worth. Hand out compliments like candy, and they're just empty calories. But when you pull back, when you make your attention rare, you flip the script. Psychologists call this the scarcity principle. It's hardwired into our brains. We chase what's hard to get. Think about it. If you're collecting baseball cards and everyone's tossing you the same common card, you'd toss it in a drawer. Forget it. But a rare card, one nobody else has, that's the one you'd kill to own. When you stop giving her the same attention every other guy is throwing at her, you become that rare card. You stand out. You become the one she has to have. This isn't just some modern dating quirk. It's rooted in thousands of years of evolution. Back when we were dodging saber-toothed tigers, a woman's survival depended on her social bonds. If the tribe ignored her, ostracized her, she was done. Her and her kids. That pressure shaped the female brain to be hypersensitive to social cues. When attention dries up, an ancient alarm system goes off in her head. It's screaming, "Danger, you're losing status." It's not conscious most of the time. It's primal. That's why she freaks out when her posts don't get enough likes, or when she's not invited to the group hangout. It's not vanity. It's her brain interpreting a lack of attention as a threat to her survival. Men, we evolved differently. We had to hunt alone, defend territory, survive in solitude. Being ignored doesn't hit us the same way. We're built for it. So when you pull back from a woman who's used to constant male attention, you're triggering that primal alarm. She feels the void, and it compels her to chase you to get it back. Let's take this deeper with a real story to show you how this plays out. Picture yourself at a party. There's this woman, gorgeous, confident, the kind who knows every eye is on her. Guys are circling, offering drinks, trying to make her laugh. They're practically tripping over each other to get a smile. You're there, but you're not playing that game. You're in the corner having a blast with your buddies, telling stories, owning the room in your own way. She glances over, expecting you to join the fan club, but you don't. You're not rude. If she talks to you, you're cool, maybe even charming. But you're not chasing. You're not feeding her ego like the others. Halfway through the night, she's the one making her way over, asking you questions, trying to figure out who this guy is who's not begging for her attention. Why does this work? Because you're not just another thirsty dude in her DMs. You're the mystery, the guy who doesn't need her validation to feel good about himself. I saw this with my buddy Jake. He used to be the guy who'd text his crush non-stop, planning elaborate dates, only to get ghosted. I told him to chill, focus on his gym routine, post some stories of him living his life. 2 weeks later, she's blowing up his phone, asking why he's so distant. He didn't change who he was, he just changed how he played the game. There's another layer to this. It's called the contrast effect. Psychologists say we judge things based on what came before. If you're always texting, always available, always giving her attention, she gets used to it. It's her baseline. But when you suddenly go quiet, it's like turning off the heat in a cozy room. She notices. It's jarring. This creates what's called intermittent reinforcement. It's the same psychological hook that makes slot machines addictive. She doesn't know when your attention's coming next, so she keeps pulling the lever, chasing that hit. My friend Sarah, a psychologist, told me about a study. Rats pressed a lever for food. When the food stopped coming every time they didn't give up, they pressed harder, faster, desperate for the reward. That's what happens when you pull back after being attentive. She doesn't just shrug and move on. She doubles down, texting more, trying to get your attention back. Now let's talk about the consequences of not getting this right, because this is where it gets real. If you keep chasing, keep giving her everything while getting nothing back, you're signing up for a slow, soul-crushing grind. You'll burn out your energy, erode your confidence, start questioning your worth. You'll become the nice guy who gets friend-zoned, while she chases the dude who doesn't care. Worse, you'll start resenting her and yourself. That resentment festers. It turns into bitterness or desperation. You might lash out saying things you regret, or you might shut down, retreating into a shell of the man you used to be. Either way, you lose. You lose your swagger, your dreams, your sense of self. And here's the brutal truth. She'll never respect you if you don't respect yourself. If you're always available, always bending over backward, you're screaming, "I'm not worth chasing." She'll treat you like a doormat because you let her. Over time, that dynamic doesn't just kill the attraction, it kills you. Here's the wake-up call, brother. You can flip the script by making your attention a privilege, not a guarantee. This isn't about being cold or manipulative. It's about living a life so full, so purposeful, that your time is valuable. Strategic ignoring isn't about ghosting her for no reason. It's about setting boundaries and rewarding good behavior. She's flirty, respectful, bringing her best self. Give her your time, your energy. She's playing games, acting entitled, testing your limits. Pull back. Focus on your grind, your career, your gym, your boys. Let her feel the absence of your energy. This is how you command respect, not just from her, but from yourself. Let's break down how to do this right, starting with mastering the nothing bothers me mindset. To pull this off, you need to be unshakable. If she's fishing for a reaction, flirting with other guys in front of you, being dramatic, don't take the bait. Smile. Stay calm. Redirect your focus. Imagine you're at that party again. She's trying to make you jealous by laughing too loud with some dude. Instead of getting mad, you turn to your buddy. Keep vibing. Maybe even strike up a conversation with someone else. You're not ignoring her out of spite. You're just living your life, unbothered. This signals confidence, abundance, self-respect, qualities that are magnetic. Next, let's talk about timing your responses to keep her guessing. If she texts, don't jump to reply like your life depends on it. Let it sit for a bit. Maybe an hour, maybe a day, depending on the vibe. Show her your world doesn't revolve around her. I knew a guy, Tom. He used to text back in seconds, desperate to keep the conversation going. She'd take hours to reply, and he'd be glued to his phone, waiting. I told him to wait at least as long as she does before responding. Within a week, she was texting first, asking what he was up to. Why? Because he stopped being predictable. He became the guy she had to work for. Another key is matching her energy to maintain balance in the dynamic. If she's hot and cold responsive one day, distant the next. Don't chase when she pulls away. Mirror her distance. If she takes a day to text back, take a day too. This isn't petty. It's self-respect. You're showing her you're not desperate. You're not going to beg for her attention. A client of mine, Dave, had a girl who'd go silent for days, then pop back up like nothing happened. He used to chase, sending double texts, asking if she was okay. I told him to match her energy. When she went cold, he went cold too. Next time she pulled that stunt, he didn't text back for 3 days. Guess who was suddenly calling him asking to meet up? She learned that inconsistent behavior gets inconsistent attention. In group settings, leverage social proof to amplify your presence. If you're at a bar or a party and she's expecting to be the center of attention, don't join the crowd of guys fawning over her. Be the guy having a great time elsewhere, laughing, telling stories, connecting with other people. Be friendly if she approaches, but don't seek her out. Don't try to impress her. This creates intrigue, not just for her, but for everyone watching. Women are hyper-aware of social dynamics. When others notice you're not chasing her, it raises your value in her eyes. She starts wondering, why isn't he after me like the others? What's his deal? That curiosity is your superpower. Now let's address the ethical side, because this is where a lot of guys get it wrong. There's a fine line between using psychology to create healthy dynamics and manipulating someone for selfish reasons. Strategic ignoring is about setting boundaries, not breaking hearts. You're not trying to hurt her or make her feel worthless. You're communicating that your attention is valuable, and it needs to be earned through respect. If you're deliberately triggering her insecurities or playing games just to feel powerful, you're not a man. You're a coward. The goal is mutual respect, where both of you bring your best selves to the table. Use this strategy to filter out women who don't match your vibe, not to control or hurt them. Avoid these common mistakes to keep your game tight. First, don't be obvious about it. If she can tell you're ignoring her just to get a reaction, it backfires. Women are intuitive. They'll smell the manipulation a mile away, and it'll make you look weak. Second, don't ignore her when she's being genuine, sweet, respectful. That's just shooting yourself in the foot. Reward good behavior with your attention. Pull back only when she's testing you or acting entitled. Third, don't confuse strategic ignoring with being cold or distant all the time. That's not attractive. It's just aloof. Be warm and engaging when she earns it. Redirect your focus when she doesn't. Finally, don't use this as a crutch for insecurity. If you're ignoring her because you're afraid of rejection or don't know what to say, that's not strategy. That's fear. True power comes from abundance and choice, not hiding. Here's the ultimate truth. The most powerful form of ignoring isn't strategic at all. It's authentic. When you're genuinely busy building a life you love, pursuing your goals, hitting the gym, crushing it at work, you naturally become less available to women who don't add value. This isn't a tactic, it's a lifestyle. The most attractive men aren't the ones playing games. They're the ones so focused on their purpose that they don't have time for nonsense. I knew a guy, Mark. He turned his life around after a bad breakup, started a business, got jacked, surrounded himself with solid friends. Women started chasing him, not because he was ignoring them, but because he was living a life that screamed value. His unavailability was real, not manufactured, and it made him magnetic. To become that man, start building a life you're proud of. Chase your purpose, whether it's your career, your fitness, or your art. Develop skills that make you stand out. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, not drag you down. Set boundaries in every relationship, not just the romantic ones. Learn to say no to what doesn't serve you. Work on your emotional intelligence. Understand her psychology. But don't use it to manipulate. Use it to create connections based on mutual respect and genuine attraction. The goal isn't to trick women into liking you, it's to become the kind of man they can't help but respect. This brings us to the final piece. Creating lasting attraction that doesn't rely on games. Strategic ignoring can spark initial interest. Set boundaries. Shift the dynamic. But long-term relationships need more. They need mutual respect, consistent communication, emotional support. Once you've established your standards, the women worth keeping will rise to meet them. The ones who need constant games or drama. They're not relationship material. Focus on building something real with someone who values you as much as you value her. That's where the real payoff is. Not in short-term wins, but in a life where you're respected, fulfilled, and free to be your best self. So here's your call to action, brothers. Stop handing out your attention like it's free. Make it rare. Make it earned. You're not just a man. You're a king. Act like it. Build a life so dope that women chase you because you're the real deal. Set boundaries. Live your purpose. Never settle for less than you deserve. If this hit home, smash that like button. Share this with a brother who needs to hear it. And subscribe for more real talk on leveling up your life. Stay strong. Stay focused. Let's keep building the men we were meant to be.